Hey, 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 hey. All right, people, let's jump into this. We are live. Waiting for you to come on. Yes. Hey, hey, sunshine, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you. Louise, good evening. All right, we got the bands back together. All right, great. Last week we had a number of people online. I get a report of how many people logged in. And last week, it was under 100, but it was a good number. And but a lot of people didn't say anything, so I do appreciate those of you who do. Those who do chime in. This is not something just for me to talk. Okay, so I do really want you guys to chime in also and give me your information. Tell me where you're from. Talk to me. Give me feedback. And tonight, hey Dr. Mel. Hey Melanie. Tonight we're going to be dealing with something that's really exciting. Yes, and a few of you have your pics in your profile, like Melanie does, and there are a few others who do. So please put your pics in your profile. Oh, Louise, you're from Maryland. That's my old stomping ground. I claim the DMV. I hope you're from Lower Maryland, because if you're from Baltimore, you don't claim yourself as being a part of the DMV. You guys are your own entity. But if you're from Maryland, that's cool. Hey, Sunshine, all the way from Florida. Of course, Sunshine from Florida. Duh. Rebecca Morgan from Palm Springs. Excellent. Great to have you. All right. Listen, a couple guest Tate 91902 Tate. Yes, I'm going to call you out from Texas because you haven't given us a name yet. Oh, well, guest 91902. I guess Tate is your name. Okay, Tate, we'll just call you that. Also, Dana Taylor from Pittsburgh. That's very cool. I love that city. Philly is very cool. You're right. Palm Springs is beautiful. Wendy and I had some time. We spent some time there with my former colleague, Dr. Pepper. All right. Tried to upload my profile pic, but it didn't work. Interesting. Let us know. Listen, I'm glad you said that, Louise. If you have any issues like that, any challenges, let us know. And what we'll do is we will make sure our developers get right on that. Or go into, if you in the app, go into the info section in the app and just please send out an email to the contact there. Go to the contact section. Send out an email. Let them know what troubles you're having as we work out these bugs. If something like that isn't working, we definitely want to know. Okay. All right. Listen, let's jump into it. I can't wait. Okay, he's just a friend. Is it ever okay to stay close with your ex? Is it ever okay to stay close with your ex? Now, some of y'all have been married so long, your ex is like ain't even a question, okay, about your ex, because your ex is probably gone. You don't even know what happened to him, which is in my case, in our case. But regardless, is it okay to ever stay in contact with your ex? So we're going to jump into that. Melanie jumps right out the gate and said, nope, unless you have kids. Okay, greetings from Covington, Georgia, James Roach. Greetings. Okay, so let's be real. When someone says he's just a friend or she's just a friend about their ex, you're not buying it. I mean, honestly. Well, not us. I don't buy it, and especially the spouse. So tonight we're going to get into it. Can exes actually be friends, or is this just denial with a phone number? Is it just denial with a phone number, or can exes really be friends? So we're going to talk about a few things tonight, and some of it's going to be uncomfortable because I have talked to a number of people who say things like, well, look, I was friends with my ex before we were together. We were friends before we were together. Well, look, have you ever been in a relationship with that person? Well, yeah, but that was so long ago. Well, now we're just friends. Okay, let's talk about it. And I'm not going to say under any circumstances and at all times that should not happen, that you should not have a relationship with your ex. I'm not going to say that. But what we're going to have to talk about here is degrees. Okay, what degree of relationship should you have? Okay, so let's deal first of all with some uncomfortable truths. And if you've ever had experience here, if you're experiencing something here, or if it's something that you want to share, this is the environment to do it. Okay, this is an environment to share because we want to approach some of these issues and deal with them. Now, first, an uncomfortable truth. If you have to hide the communication that you're having with your ex, you already have the answer as to whether or not it's okay. If you have to hide communication with an ex, you're erasing DMs. You're putting texts under a different code, if you can actually do that. I don't know. You already have the answer. That's first. Second, just a friend becomes a problem when your spouse feels like the third wheel. Just a friend. If your spouse is feeling like the third wheel, then that and let me take it a little bit further. It don't even have to be an ex. It could be a coworker. It could be the neighbor. It could be anyone with whom you have some kind of relationship with. We're talking about exes specifically, but you can actually add any kind of extraneous relationship into that box. And the real question, can exes be friends? The big question is, are you prioritizing your marriage over your past? Are you prioritizing your marriage over your past? Now, Melanie makes a big, and this is something that I always tell couples, and I'm glad you're saying this, Melanie. You must have gone through some of our marriage classes. Okay, but this is something I say. He or she needs to be friends with both of us. That is absolutely true. Look, and I was going to say, are there any extenuating circumstances? Here's one. If there's a coworker, now I don't need to know all your coworkers, because I'm not trying to get involved with your job. I don't need to know all your classmates. But if there's a special relationship there, that person should be friends with both of you. There should never be a scenario where you have a friend that your spouse is not familiar with it. Okay, I need you to get that. And some of us in our independent thinking, and especially in today's day and age, we're like, well, somebody shouldn't need to be in all my business. Yeah, no, yes, they should. Because we're talking about marriage. Okay, Sunshine says, have a healthy, respectful relationship with boundaries, even with kids. Both spouses know each other. Absolutely. Listen, I've shared this a number of times. Winnie and I, we're second timers. We both got married very young, very dumb. Okay. But we're second timers. Now, I have kids with the first wife. Wendy has with her first husband and only other husband or wife. But here's the deal. Do I have a relationship with the ex? Does she have a relationship? Yes, but there's a degree. We have to talk about degrees here. The relationship only exists because there are children. And as Sunshine was saying here, it has to be healthy. It has to be respectful with boundaries. And both spouses have to know each other. I need to know her ex. She needs to know my ex. And we do. And we all understand. We all understand the boundaries. Everyone knows the respect. Nobody's going to respect anybody because the day they do, there's a problem. All right? Okay. Now here's what Leah says. I agree with that or not at all. Exactly. Right, exactly. Or not at all. I couldn't agree more. Wendy says, even if it's just friends of the opposite that you were never intimately involved with, and your spouse is uncomfortable, you need to cut it off. Now there's something we need to deal with. What if it's just a relationship and your spouse is uncomfortable with it? Okay? Does that need to cut off? Yes. Yes. Why is there a discomfort? Look, do I have female friends? Absolutely. I have some friends who are female. But do my wife know them? Yeah. If she tells me, look, I'm not comfortable with that, I have to trust that she's got my back. And she might be seeing something that I'm not. But what if you feel like the relationship with the opposite sex is innocent and you have no feelings for them, but your spouse has an issue? Okay, Wendy, you got me a lot of questions. But okay, fine. If your spouse has an issue, that needs to be discussed. That definitely needs to be discussed. Why do you have an issue? If it's innocent, and is it something that we all can talk about? All right? Now here's what James says. I'm still friends with most of my exes. No unresolved feelings or holding out any hope for a romantic future. They were all friends with my ex-wife while I was married. Okay, James, are you married now? I need to know that. And if you're still friends with your exes, that's one thing. But are you married currently? Okay? Are you married? And are you still friends with those exes? That I need to know. Okay? Because if you are, okay, fine. We can talk about that. But you can be friends with all your exes and no unresolved feelings. They were all friends with your ex-wife while you was married. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you something, James. I'm going to be straight with you. The question you got to ask yourself is, what benefit am I getting out of those relationships? And this is a very hard thing to deal with. Because if you're not getting a benefit out of relationships, if you're not getting a benefit out of a past relationship, then the big question is, what is its purpose? Some of us just want to be friends just because we knew somebody and, well, we just friends. Why? Friends have to have some kind of benefit. Okay. Dana Taylor. Y'all busy tonight. This is a hot one. Dana says, co-parenting with boundaries is vital. Any other ex I no longer know. Okay, co-parenting, yes. Co-parenting with boundaries is vital. Any other ex I no longer, yeah, you're absolutely right. Co-parenting, even co-parenting. Because here's what you got to understand. When you divorce somebody, and we know this from personal experience, when you divorce somebody, sometimes it may be one-sided. One person, in fact, it always is one-sided. One person always hurts more than the other. And if one person still has an axe to grind or some issues, they could make life very difficult for you if you don't have boundaries. You must have those boundaries. Okay? And you're saying, they may have feelings for that person. James wrote, okay, James, you're saying you're not married now. Well, James, I'm going to give you a bit of a friendly advice, my friend. If you're not married now, going into your next marriage or relationships or whatever, here's what you need to do. Any exes, and I'm telling you this, take it from a brother, man. I'm talking to you. Any relationship that you go into, those exes have to know that you're going into a relationship. And if my wife, my future girlfriend, or my wife or whatever, if they have a problem with you, you are done. Period. If they have a problem with you, I choose her. All right. I hope y'all getting that. Okay. Yes, this is Marie says, okay, yes, we better both have the same friends, no anonymous friends. You're absolutely right. Leah says exactly. Okay. Shannon, what do you do if your spouse doesn't have any friends, male or female? Jesus. And they don't like you having friends. Okay. If your spouse don't have any friends, male or female, and they don't like you having friends, that's a problem. First of all, if your spouse has no friends, male or female, there are some different issues that we have to discuss. And it's not about whether it has nothing to do with whether or not this person, it has nothing to do with boundaries. The question is, why do you have no friends? I'm just serious, Shannon. Why do they have no friends? That's something that we have to discuss also. Okay, because friendship outside of marriage is mandatory. It's necessary. You must have friends other than your spouse. Same-sex friends. Male friends, females must have female friends. It's necessary. And if you have none, that's a problem. Not even siblings. We would have to discuss that, because anybody I marry who has no other friends, can I even be your friend? Okay, let's continue. James, still friends with the exes, and their spouses were amenable. Okay, you still friends. Okay, and their spouses were cool. Okay, fine. Look, you have to work out your own norm. Okay, look, y'all got a lot of questions. I haven't even gotten to the non-negotiables, but this is good stuff though. Some exes, think they have the upper hand if they have kids with their exes. This may make them feel superior to your partner. Absolutely. If your spouse don't have friends, right? Shannon, that's a good question, because my ex had no friends and I thought it was weird. Okay, and again, Dana, that's your ex. I'm telling you, people who have no friends but you, that's a red flag. And if you're single and dating, one thing you want to find out is, what does your friend group look like? I used to ask singles that all the time when I was matching them. What does your friend group look like? Not if you have one, what does it look like? Because there should be an identity. There have to be people that you associate with, somebody, somewhere, who knows you besides your spouse. There has to be. If not, there is some antisocial behavior that you might want to check into. I'm just saying. Yes, spouse only interacts with siblings and thinks that's enough. Okay. Thank you, Shannon, for clearing that up. If he only interacts with siblings, if your siblings can become your friends, if those are your major friends, okay, fine. That's cool. But those are still relationships outside of your spouse. And if he treats his siblings like that, then that's fine. But now the problem happens is that he doesn't want you to have any. There's some underlying jealousy. There might be some insecurities. I don't know this person from a Adam's house cat. We would have to flesh that out. Okay. Okay. When you say, I'm not laughing at your friendless spouse, it just sounds funny. Okay, fine. You have to be good friends to have. Exactly. Okay. Well, let's continue. Okay. So let's deal with some of the non-negotiables. Okay. 3 non-negotiables in marriage when it comes to having friends or friends with the ex. Okay. Is the topic primarily about your spouse and their friends? I'm just signing in. The topic is about exes. Okay. Is it okay to stay close with an ex? That is the topic. Okay. Now we're going to talk about non-negotiables. All right. Louise said, I'll read this one. I had to end a longtime friend who didn't think it was a problem that his wife had problems with our friendship. What? I had to end a longtime friend who didn't think it was a problem. He didn't think it was a problem. He didn't think it was a problem that his wife had problems. Yes, good call. Louise, if you got a friend and his wife's got a problem with you, but he's like, oh, whatever. That's the no. Red flag. Let's try flaming flag. Let's try flaming flag. If someone's spouse has got a problem with you, but they brushing it off, that's no good. Because it means that person is prioritizing you over their spouse. And if they're doing that, it's a dangerous situation for you to be in. And I mean dangerous. There will be nothing good that comes out of that. Sorry. Here's some non-negotiables when it comes to dealing with your ex, your spouse, and whether your ex or their ex or whatever. Number 1, full transparency, mandatory. Your spouse has access to your conversations. Not that they need to. Look, I have friends who are female that I've known. I'm thinking of one now I know since she was a child. Okay. I can call her. She can call me. I don't care. Wendy don't even care. Wendy got a friend she's known for years. He's a chef or something else. No, she called this so-and-so. Oh, okay, whatever. Why? I trust her. She trusts me. We know them. They know her. My friend knows her. His friend knows me. In fact, when they call, they'll be like, hey, how's Calvin? Oh, great. Cool. Yeah, tell him I said hi. Okay, great. And vice versa. I don't care. There's no secrets. So there has to be full transparency. There has to be. And you can have access to the conversation, period. But you don't need to be in it. Because as long as I know I have access, I'm good. It's almost like having the code to your cell phone. I know my wife's cell phone code. She knows mine. Do I ever go into her phone? Hardly ever. She goes into mine to play some games or something. But no. Why? But I have access. The access is the thing. Not that I'm going to use it. I don't need to use it. Because by giving access to conversations or access to your devices or what have you, it shows that you're being open. And that's more often than not, that's enough. Secondly, there must be mutual respect. First, there has to be full transparency. Second, there has to be mutual respect. If your spouse is uncomfortable, their feelings matter more than your friendship. Your spouse's feelings have to matter more than your friendship. It's mandatory. Mandatory. Okay? And thirdly, we talked about this earlier, there must be clear-cut boundaries. No private lunches, no emotional intimacy, no, remember when we were, no, none, let me talk about that a second. None of those conversations. You remember when we were 18, you was my first kiss. When we were 15, you was my first kiss. You remember that? No, why are you having a conversation like that? What is that all about? Why? Are you reminiscing? Are you regretting? No, there has to be clear boundaries. When he says, when I was younger and never married, I found it fun that my platonic male friends, girlfriends didn't like me, and I would do stuff on purpose. That was foolish, youthful behavior. With maturity came wisdom. Thank you for being mature, because, yeah, that was crazy. But, and dangerous. We may not have been married if you had continued that, because you may not have been around. So thank you. Leah says she agrees with all three of those. My ex used to do that a lot, and I hated it. Absolutely. You have to have clear boundaries. There must be mutual respect, and there has to be full transparency. Okay, let's talk about it. What are some of the red flags that would prove that your relationship with your ex is not innocent? Some of the red flags that might prove that your relationship with your ex is not innocent. You're texting them, number one. You're texting them or DMing them about problems in your current relationship. Anytime you're talking to your spouse, or talking to your ex rather, about problems in your current relationship, that's a red flag. You can talk to your boys, you can talk to your girls, that, you probably shouldn't, but anytime you do that, it's a red flag. Okay? Number two, you delete messages before your spouse sees them. You know you can retrieve deleted messages. I'm just saying. But you delete messages before your spouse sees them. Red flag. You're hiding your phone. Okay. You compare your spouse to your ex, even silently. That's another one. Red flag. Please, I'm begging you, never compare your spouse to an ex. Never. Melanie, reminiscing is completely dangerous with someone you used to love or have intimacy. Absolutely. It's incredibly dangerous. And if that errant thought runs through your head, you better leave it in your head. You better leave it in your head. Okay? Leah, I would think these would need to be discussed very early, right? So that there is mutual understanding and you both can be on the same page. Absolutely. These are things that you discuss normally in counseling situation, but believe it or not, Leah, people don't discuss these things until the actual issues arise. You would hope that these would be things that you discuss early, but unfortunately, people don't. And it's only till when these things arise that people find a need to talk about it. And by then, some of the damage has already been done. Okay, here's another red flag. You defend your friendship harder than you protect your marriage. Yeah, you defending your friendship. Well, why you gotta talk? Well, why? I known her forever. I known him forever. But look, that's my dog. That's my road dog. Or you say something about him and they go into defense mode. What? I wish I would say something about somebody. My wife goes into defense mode, or I go into defense mode about somebody else. I don't care who it is. I can call your spouse fat, bald-headed, red, freckled. And if you go to defend, that's a problem. Okay? Leaving the room or to talk, or going to the car to talk. Yes, that is another red flag. My boyfriend and I have had these conversations. Excellent, Leah. Okay, now Talamisha says this. Wendy's comment proves a serious point. A wife might have discernment regarding a female friend that her husband doesn't. She may see that immature, purposeful behavior that he doesn't and never will. I hope that makes sense. Yes, you're absolutely right. This is the 180 rule. And it's a rule that we teach in relationship coaching. The 180 rule is that as a individual, I can only see 180 degrees in my peripheral. I can see my periphery here. I can see it here, but I can't see behind me. Okay? Your spouse is designed to see the other 180 so that you have a complete 360 view of what's going on in both your lives. I see her 180, she sees mine, because I can only see this much. So if there's an X or something, and my spouse is like, I'm seeing something you're not seeing, I got your 180. Okay. I got to trust that and not think that I got eyes in the back of my head, because I don't. So you're absolutely right. Talamisha, I heard you. So what if you're in a situation, my lovely wife is asking again, where you innocently accepted your partner being friends with their exes, but after you got married, it became a problem? Yeah. Well, it doesn't make a difference. Anytime it becomes a problem, it's a problem. Just because I thought it was okay early on, we grow, we change. Maybe there are things I didn't see then that I see now. Whenever it becomes a problem, then it is a problem. And that is when it needs to be discussed. Okay, guest 94721. This is amazing. This is like receiving marriage counseling for free. Thank you for this. You're more than welcome, guest 94721. Please put your name in so I can call you by name and not just guest 94721. We do that to people who don't have their names. We call them by their number, guest 94721. Okay, so yes, it is. And encourage people to come out, because this is about as free as you're going to get. Okay, women know women. Exactly, Talamisha. I like that 180 view, absolutely. Okay, 94721. My name is Treyina. Treyina, go to the upper right corner and click on the little icon when you sign into the app. You can put your name and all your stuff in there, so we don't have to call you guest 94721. Okay? Awesome. So those are some of the things, the red flags. Here's the last one, and I have a note here. You say, my spouse is just insecure or jealous. You talk to your ex dogging your spouse. Oh, she's just jealous. She insecure. Look, people, if you ever start talking to your friends about your spouse like that and dogging them out, I mean, to an ex, you're pouring poison on your relationship. And you're making that ex feel as though they have a superior level over your spouse. It's dumb. Don't do it. Okay, I got a little bit I'm going to talk about later. Okay, once I figured out how, okay, fine. Trina, fill in your profile. Okay, that's completely inappropriate. Absolutely. I hope this is being recorded and or posted. Yes, it absolutely is. You'll be able to see this inside the app. We do archive these inside the app. Of course, you have to start perusing and going through the app. Very needed in the social media society to stay connected through social media. Okay, now let me tell you a couple things, then we're going to be done. When it might be okay. This is rare, but it's possible. When is it ever okay to be friends with your ex? Okay, we mentioned this before. Co-parenting, where there are mature boundaries. Co-parenting, that's one time. Secondly, if there's social overlap, hear me out, okay? If you go to the same church or friend group, but this has to be group only situations. And again, if your spouse knows that person, then great. If your spouse does not know, cut it. Okay? Now, another situation, I know these situations happen when years have passed and you both are married, you're both happy, you're both thriving, and you meet each other, hey, what's up? And you might, connect, your spouses connect, your new spouses connect with that spouse, and okay, fine. That can happen. But here is the thing, and this is, I'm going to bring it home. Your spouse has to be 100% comfortable and completely involved in the whole relationship. Okay? You see, Talamish said, or family. Never dog your spouse out to anyone, not even your girls or fellas or your family. Absolutely right. Wendy's right. Never. And I'm going to tell you this, and then I'm going to let you guys go. And next we're going to go somewhere else. When you dog out your spouse, even to an ex, to family, or whomever, even if you're having a problem in your relationship and you go to someone else and tell them about that problem, let me share something with you. You got to understand this. When you tell somebody else about your ex and tell them a problem, to that person, what you tell them is locked in time. It stays there. You might the next day, the next hour, the next minute go back to your spouse and they great again. You made up. But to that person you told, guess what? They still that sorry so-and-so who said this to you or did that to you. You didn't made up, but they did not make up. That's why I counsel, I beg people, do not share stuff like that with people until if you've gotten it together, if you've gotten it right in your marriage, then great. Okay? Then you can go back and say, man, I felt this way about my spouse, but we worked it out and we're good now. So I'm letting you know, you can get through anything. If that's your testimony, great. But you do not go to somebody else and, yeah, that woman, man, that man, he driving me. Oh, I just can't. You know what? I think I'm going to leave. Next week, you good. You great. Go to your buddy. Man, your spouse sucks, man. Yeah, dude, bro. Man, why are you talking about because that's what I thought. No. See the kind of confusion that causes? All right. Okay, great. Well, a real ex-partner should put you in your place if you're talking negatively about your partner. Marie, that is ideal. And you're absolutely right. You might forgive them, but your family won't. Absolutely. And lastly, there is a free couples and singles challenge in the app. Check it out and come to the Valentine's Day experience, code MAFB. Great. Thank you, hon. I said hon because that's my wife. So here's the thing. Let me tell you this before y'all log off. Okay, so lastly, I forgot your name that quick. I guess 94721. Very true. I had to learn that. I used to talk to my mom and share some things about my spouse, and I believe overall my mom felt a bit different about him, but nonetheless was still cordial. Absolutely. And I'm glad you learned that, and I hope you corrected it. In time, your mom will come around, but you have to explain to your mom, I was feeling that way, but we're good now. I'm sorry, and I won't share that anymore. But let me share this with you. On Sunday, February 15th, we're having a Valentine's Day experience. If you're in the Atlanta area, if you are, I know some of you are, I want you to go to this app on the home page. You can click the Love in Motion and go ahead and get your tickets. And if you put the code MAFP, Marriage Ain't For Punks, MAFP, in the code on the Eventbrite, you will get 50% off. Instead of paying $200 per couple, you're paying $100 per couple. This is only to y'all live tonight. MAFP. Okay? We only have 30 slots. Period. 30 couples, and that's it. So please go and get your seat. I'm here to tell you, okay, that within the next probably 48 hours, there may not be any seats. Get your seat. All right. We're going to be talking very openly, very honestly, very intimately. We're going to have yoga. A professional yoga instructor is going to lead us through some posing and stuff. You don't have to have any yoga experience. It's going to be great. But we're also going to do intimate things together. There will be even foot washing. You could be foot washing and hand washing your spouse. There's going to be gifts. I'm giving everybody a copy of Marriage Ain't for Punks, my book. It's going to be just an awesome time. And you're getting it 50% off. Okay, I don't like to sell stuff. I hate it. I was a salesman for 12 years on Wall Street. Couldn't stand it. But I'm here to tell you now, if you're in the city, do it. Okay? Okay, you know what, Talamisha? We are. Y'all need to come to Cali and do this. Yes, we will. And I'm going to tell you something. You go ahead and put your contact information in the post, because when we come to California, we're going to need some contacts, okay? We'll need some people to help us arrange some stuff. So you do that. Thank you, Dana. Thank you. Thank you for your endorsement of the book. Even in New York, guest 94721 is in New York. And Ohio, Leah Rice. Yes, we can make the tour. We ain't mad. But we need you, if you're in the Atlanta area, please come on and come out and check us out. This is our inaugural event. So it's $100 now. Okay. Next time we do it will not be. All right. It will not be. So get your tickets. Okay. This evening. God bless you. Oh, thank you, Marie. Thank you guys. Oh, thank you guys. Get your tickets tonight. It's only $100. It's cheaper. $100 is cheaper than Olive Garden. It's cheaper than Red Lobster. Okay. For both of you. All right. Great. And there will be food. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next Tuesday night. I can't wait. Okay. And this will be in the archives. Give us about a week or so. If you didn't get it now, you can get it later. All right. God bless you guys. Take care.